Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another day of writing the page where I write a page, I invite you to write a page, and hey, we're writers and we're doing the thing that we do. So that's what this is about. I am finally recovering from my sickness. About midweek, I still have a little bit of congestion like in this area of my body. My face is fairly clear. But yeah, that was a pretty intense sickness that I had, cold, whatever it was. Lots of time to just be alone, to reflect, to feel all the feelings of feeling lonely and like nobody cares that you exist. And I was thinking about just what it would be like once you do pass away and die, and how the world just moves on and it keeps on going, and finding a peace with that. And I don't know, it's like part of us wants the thing to stop and be like, oh my God, he's gone. How can I survive? Or sometimes that's how I think, but maybe you don't. But yeah, I just kind of died in my place a bunch of times over and over and over again, and got through it. I've been working through a lot of things, and yeah, it's a whole long story. But update on my if you don't know, I work for a therapist who we wrote a book proposal, and I'm now pitching to agents. I sent a total of 21 query letters to agents, and I sent 2 letters to publishers who do not require agents. So far, we've gotten 2 rejections, so there's still, out of that 21 agent list, 2 have rejected so far. One of them gave a nice response, and he said, he just mentioned like the numbers of the social media for the therapist is not high enough, and that's who he works with, just high influence people, which I know that that's a thing. People talk about how you have to have a big influence or big market on social media for people to write a book about you, but then I've also heard contradicting things with agents saying that sometimes it doesn't matter, because if you have a bunch of followers, that doesn't necessarily mean that's going to lead to a bunch of book sales. Like one agent said how one person had a lot of followers and then they didn't receive that many sales. So, but this guy, he worked with most publishers who required that, so it was just good intel to have. And little bit of a writer rant here just to go on it. It's like, it's hard enough, at least it was for me, or I shouldn't say hard, it took enough time to learn how to write and learn how to like be a writer, let alone be a social media influencer, and that kind of just annoys me. It's like, we got lives to live. It's like they expect writers to now be like their marketing machines and this and that, which one of the reasons why I have this is to market my own self rather than just putting my stuff out there. I don't know, but I still don't want to be some person who's churning out content all the time, because writing it takes time and it takes energy and focus. So I don't know, but that's just the way the business is. So it's a whole long discussion that I can get into, but anyways, that happened. And then I'll tell you about another thing that happened after we do the page, because I'm already at 3.5 minutes, and I could talk forever. So today is the 7th. So you write the date on the page. For those of you who are new, that's what you do. And then you just write straight to fill up the page. So here we go. All right, 1 page, there it is. All the most important stuff the most important writing that exists on this planet is in these pages. Very important stuff. Life-changing revelations. Cool, so that was nice. Just reflecting on some things that are going on in my life at the moment, which is one of them is around money. Have a lot of fears about money and fears about how much money to have and how to survive in this world, and a lot of it's stemming from past, like ancestral stuff, it seems to be, but I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. The other thing I was going to say about the book, the guy who rejected the query because of the lack of social media was like, oh, if you're interested, there's a bunch of small publishers who will publish without agents. So if you Google like publishing houses who will publish without an agent, you can get a good list of things. So that's a little tip for you if you're looking to publish without getting an agent. And I found two places that I sent it to, and I queried one, and then I sent in one to another, and then the second one that I sent to gave me an email to another guy. It's like, oh hey, it was an email that said, oh hey, we're really backed up with submissions. If you're interested, or you think that, anyway, it said, let me rephrase that. I got an automatic reply from the second publisher that I sent to, and it said, we get a lot of submissions and we're backed up. And then it mentioned, if you have a big social media following, blah, 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 kind of the same thing the other guy said, then contact this guy. And it gave this guy's email, and it also linked to 2 articles. And this publishing company is called Skyhorse, and I researched them, and I read the articles, and they publish all sorts of shit from both sides of the political spectrum, some things that will make people very angry, but the guy's all about like free speech and all that, and all about representing people that aren't getting representation in other sort of traditional publishing routes. So I researched this guy, listened to some interviews, and did all this stuff, and then just wrote him a giant query letter explaining what I'm trying to do with this therapist book. And then I also told him who I was, and I told him some projects that I have that I'd like to get published. And yeah, I just let it all hang out there. My thing was like, I'm just going to be 100% myself and 100% authentic, because and just kind of write this guy this giant letter, because that's what I was feeling called to do. And if he rejects me, he rejects me, but who knows? It's just like, I told him, like, I'm fucking here, dude. I have a lot of shit that I want to write, and that I have a novel, I have a book of nonfiction humorous essays, I have a book of taxidermy poetry, I have a book about plant medicine, I have a book about DMT exploration. I have all these ideas that I'd like to see if we can make into cool books. And I was like, let's make a deal, let's hop on a call and chat. So I don't know if I'll ever hear from that guy, but it was cool just to put it out there, because at this point, after doing this for 20 years and playing the whole thing and sending the things out, I'm just like done. And I've reached a point where I'm like, I'm just going to really go for it right now with my writing and put it out there. And because I'm out of energy. It's like, I'll be happy being a teacher, I'll be happy working in marketing. It's just like, I could write my own stuff. I'd be happy writing these pages a day. It's like, if I wrote a page a day for the rest of my life and nobody saw the light of day of it, and I just burned these notebooks in a fire, I would be happy. It's like, that's where I've gotten with the whole writing thing. I know that I finally feel like I could call myself a writer. It took 20 years for me to do that. And yeah, so I'm just going to do my own thing and just let whatever happen. But it felt cool to do that and just really just put it out there. So that's where I'm at with things. And also coming out of the sickness and dealing with all the stuff about the isolation and loneliness. It's like, why not just fucking go for it and say what I want to say and see what happens. So there you go. Thank you all for listening to all that. If you made it to the end, congratulations. Go you. I'm happy for you. Dio's happy for you. And have a great weekend. And I will see you all later. Goodbye.